You have one unheard message. First unheard message sent yesterday at 7:15 p.m.
Hey Todd, I got this really awesome independent dealer that you should talk to. Can you meet me at the gate?
I'm Rich Levine, and this is Meet Me at the Gate, where we're not just talking theory, we're tackling real-world problems head-on, driving solutions that supercharge productivity and team dynamics. Every episode is a journey towards improvement, empowering you, the manager, to lead with innovation and confidence. Join us to transform everyday roadblocks into highways for success.
But I've never ate so good as Kansas City.
Next time you're in Joplin or Kansas City, we'll get a hold of me and we'll go eat together. How's that?
I'm in.
All right. That sounds like a deal. Nice to meet you.
I'm Chris, by the way. Sorry, Ty.
Yeah. No, that's good.
I just launch into it, man.
Rich has already told me all about you. I feel like I already know you, so we're good.
Rich lies. He lies like a rug, man.
I'm a car dealer. I'm a liar.
It's an auction man. What auction guys do?
What's the first good rule of a used car salesman? Got to be able to lie, right? All right, you need to debunk that myth, Chris, because I know that's not true.
That's right. We're looking to establish value, man, and tell the customers what it is, what our value proposition is, and if it works for them, they take it, and if it doesn't, they go on down the road and we just deal with somebody else.
All right. So, how long you been as a used car? You're an owner, independent used car dealer in Houston. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Proudly started in October of 2019, and have been bludgeoned and beaten for the last 4.5 years.
Yeah, I bet the last 4 years have been tough. So let's go to independent used car dealer, Houston.
Well, I'm actually just north of Houston, and it matters because we're in a suburb called Conroe. After dialing it down, I'm specializing in high mile Hondas and Toyotas primarily to create value. There is money in my community, but they will typically go to the franchise dealer. The ones that need my service, they have the down and they need a good quality used car that's going to go a bit. So we try to go for about a 30-month note on a Honda or Toyota. You can pick it either Corolla, Civic, Camry, Highlander, CRV, Pilot, and then we'll carry all different trucks. And all of them, we really are pretty much over 150,000, but not much over 200,000 unless it's a really nice Toyota or Honda.
Now, I hang out at auctions a lot, and I do happen to watch. I'm a Toyota guy, I'm a Honda guy, and I watch these used Priuses go through with 179,000 miles on them, beat to hell, bringing $6,000, $8,000 in the lane. Is that crazy or what?
I think so, man. I'm scared of those. I'm scared of those hybrids. I'm scared of those battery deals. I do know there's an aftermarket alternative for the Priuses that keep them going, but the Priuses, mine is more Camry, Corolla, Civic, Accord.
But even those bring all the money.
Man, I guess if you're comparing them to, say, the Kia or Hyundai, there is a premium that I'm paying for that, but it falls into the price point that I need it to fall into to be able to provide the value to my customer.
And are you doing using your own buy here, pay here to finance these, or do you have a third party? What do you call that? A third party lender?
Third party. Like
there are several, right?
Guido.
Know? Okay, we know. All right, gotcha.
No, Guido out back.
Guido.
We don't have Guido.
No,
Guido's in Conroe, Texas, man.
Come on.
No, there's not. But it fit, because you gotta have somebody that does the collections for you, right? So third party.
Well, we do some. We have one lender that we do our own collections, and another lender that they insist on doing. They do the collections. So, but the whole goal for me is to simply hold the note, season it, and then sell it. I have no intentions of collecting it out. Not at this point. I know that most people will say, you need to hold your notes, you need to collect them out. At this point, I would like to build up a level of cash by selling good notes that alleviates the floor plan and allows me to operate from a lower, if not an eliminated debt scenario. For the last 5 years, I got to tell you, it's been tough trying to figure out this business. And one of the common denominators I see is that some really good dealers have struggled because of debt.
Yeah. Well, they call that the interest on the floor plan. I mean, I've heard a bunch of different numbers, but the national average last I heard was it $55 a day per car?
Oh, wow. I'm not experiencing that.
Well, that was a national average. I think it came from one of the big companies. My background, Chris, I'm a transport guy.
All right.
I owned,
Ty, the transportation guy.
yeah. So I owned 20 semis that could haul 9 cars at a time, and I had no less than 5 owner operators always hovering around. One of the things that I learned, car dealers taught me everything I know. Auctions and car dealers. And you guys, I have a T-shirt. Rich and I have a T-shirt that says "Love the Dealer." Oh, he's got it on.
Heck yeah, if we're gonna have a show with a car dealer on, you think? I mean, come on, Ty, did you not get the memo today?
Where's my shirt? I'm sorry, Chris. My bad. But Rich is doing the demo. So as going through, I would pay attention to car dealers. They really only want one thing from me, and that's when are my cars going to be here. So what I was able to do is I was able to become the UPS of car haul. So within a 200-mile radius, if you bought it today, you'd have it tomorrow before close. It took some time to get there, and I didn't always make it. But where I'm going with this is it always used to drive me crazy that these dealers would call me at 2 a.m. and I'm stupid enough to answer my phone, and they just want to make sure that the cars are going to be there at 6 in the morning because their service manager's coming in, the shop's all shut down, everything. We're going, Ty, you told me those cars would be there, right? Recon. So then I start learning about recon. I start learning about what it costs a dealer to have one car sit on the lot for one. And now it starts making sense why they're calling me, wondering if their cars are going to be there because it costs some money. That interest number, I don't know. I mean, I've heard different. I'm in the Midwest. I generally hear maybe $25 a day per car. Does that sound more real?
I would say that's pretty real. I'd have to just look at it. I've never looked at it from a per day fee type scenario. So I'd have to check that out and see. I've always looked at it and go, okay, we had this much on that car. That's how much we're going to add to the recon cost or the cost of that car. But I've never had a scenario where I went back and said, so how much is that per day? And now I'm going to, Ty. So thank you. Because I like numbers. I think it's fun.
So let's shift gears real quick.
Yeah.
Ty, I'm gonna shift gears on you.
Yeah.
So as an independent dealer, buying your 4-cylinder 4-doors that are your prime target, what should an auction know about a dealer in your niche? How, in other words, what can we do to help you? What are we missing? What do we stink at? If there's anything you could fix that drives you crazy when you walk in, it's like, oh my God, if they just get better coffee, these cookies were freaking fresh. If that GM would come out of his office and say hi to me once in a while. But you can't say fees, all right? Fees are off the table. That's how I make money. You're the independent dealer. How do we help you?
I was listening to the guy who does Give Me the VIN, and I think his name is John Wolf.
John
and
Clay
he was
Wolf.
talking about bidder fatigue, and he was talking about the fact that nobody is putting floors in anymore. That it's like we just wait for them to run, and we'll decide what we want to sell and what we don't. For the independent dealer who doesn't have a large amount of cash or is trying to do cash out of his pocket or a limited floor plan balance that's left, you could buy 5 cars on an if and get none of them, but you're done for the week because the other auctions you went to are over with. That is a challenge. When I try to sell at an auction, I like to do absolute sale. This absolute sale. It doesn't matter what this car brings, you're going to own it today. That's the first thing that I see. So another trend that I see out there that's really terrifying is they're starting to move to a 45-day title instead of a 30-day title. And there's some major players in the space that are doing that I will not go to because I can't let that car sit for 45 days and not sell it by the letter of the law in Texas. And if I do sell it and they take the whole 45 days, I got a late transfer probably on my hands. And I've broken the law. The concern with the Texas scenario is that the 45 days on the titles, but also, man, we'd really like to know if there was a way you could say, look, this is where the seller needs to be. Okay. And you walk out of that auction going, I didn't get anything, or I got this one and this one. But walking out going, I got 5, but they're all on Fs. And I hear buyers after buyers, because I'm an owner, but I do believe it starts with the inventory you carry. And so I do the buying. And I hear the buyers going, I got 5, but I don't know if I'm going to get them. And they go, I spent the first 2 days in Houston and I got 2, but they had like 10.
I've worked at auctions in several states. I've sold cars in even more states. I believe in my heart that Texas is the if capital of the nation. There are more cars put on offer in the state of Texas than anywhere else. I've never seen anything like this before. And there's also another trend I see in Texas that's alarming, and you just touched on it. It's the title. Bring me the title. I need the title. I can't pay the seller until I have a title. I can't give you a title for you to go resell it to your retail until I have a title. Everything is contingent on that piece. So there's two pieces. There's a couple of things we're working on behind the scenes at our auction. One is, and you've touched on all of them. I call it CAT, consistency, accuracy, transparency. Okay, get up on the block. Be there consistently with your cars. Okay, accurate. Tell me exactly what you want for them, floor them, and be transparent at the end with why did you bring this car here? Is it because it's a wholesale piece that you didn't want to retail? Is it an aged inventory because you couldn't? Or it's just like whatever, I don't know. It's here because I want to sell it here at the auction. But don't lie to me. Just bring it and tell me, and then stand up there and bid. And I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago with a seller. Comes walking in, comes up, says, "Hey, I want to sell this car." I says, "Great." It's like, "How can I help you?" And they go, "Well, we want to put it in that third party lane." I said, "Okay, I'm going to charge you $185. "Yeah, but we got to do that." I said, "Why do you have to do that?" "Well, we don't have the reputation. We're not a big person." I said, "Stop right there. That's in your head. You can sell anything you want if you're determined to come here. Get a fair price, stand on the block, back it up, bring a title, and say, 'Yep, here it is. I'm ready to go.' If you don't do those three things, I don't care where you put that car in this sale, you're probably not going to sell it."
I think Chris, also what you said reminded me. Rich taught me this just through various conversations. But would you be willing to pay a little bit more for a car if you knew it was going to sell and you knew the title was there?
Yeah.
That plays a factor in the price you pay for the vehicle.
It's definitely, actually, I got to be straight, Ty. So what I do is I look at the cars and I book them out. I compare against two valuations because clean trade is what the standard is at the auction that people are going to pay. And average wholesale is what the loan companies are willing to buy loans at. So if you buy a car that has a $4,000 spread between clean trade and average black book, then your LTV is just so upside down, you're never going to unload that note, which I'm in the business of wanting to unload the note. And such. So I'm willing to pay what I'm willing to pay, but if there's a title there, I'm definitely more interested in that car. The other part in some of these auctions, you're seeing a rule that says you cannot bring in a scanner, and I just can't go to that auction. I'm sorry, I can't go unless you're running everything on the green light, or I got to guarantee at some point. You're telling me I can't come in there and plug in a scanner and see what the codes were in that car? I'm out.
Wow. Where now I guess we can't find out where that is, but that's new to me. I haven't heard that one yet. That's going to be.
I can say that their name rhymes with Odessa.
Isn't that a place over in Greece?
Yeah, and West Texas, Permian Basin.
Oh, West Texas.
Odessa.
Oh yeah,
So,
I forgot about that.
This kind of ties in too. One of the questions I wanted to ask you is vehicle acquisition. It sounds like primarily 99% of everything you buy, you go touch it at a live auction.
Yep, 100%.
Talk to me about that. Pictures for a second. You've caught my interest.
What do you mean?
Better pictures help sell cars or help you buy cars?
It helps me qualify them. But you and I got to be honest with you, you have some of the best photographs of any auction in our area, Rich.
Really? See, I would have said ours are crap, just to be honest.
I would have too. I was going to say they were crap. I watched them take the picture.
Then I hate to see what else is going on out there. Dang.
What the hell?
Are you blowing smoke up my skirt right now, Chris? Because really, I mean,
no. When you take a picture of a car and you take a picture of the car running, and a lot of times the auction will make the mistake. They'll fire up that car, snap the picture. Well, all the lights are on because it hasn't gone through its process yet. You got to wait. You got to fire up that car and wait for that car to go through. Wait for the loop for the airbags. Wait for all the lights to go out, or the ones that are going to stay on. Then take the picture. But you have very good pictures at your place.
Sorry, I got to figure this out. So if you do buy online, do you go outside of Texas?
The only way, no, not now. And Ty, I only sell 20 cars a month. I'm in the fifth or fourth biggest city in the United States. If I can't find 20 cars in Houston, I probably should go do something else. But if I did, yes, absolutely unequivocally. There's a couple of auctions that I would go out of town to purchase with sight unseen. I bought some, Rich. I bought some out of another out of Dallas that was a good auction for buying here. I bought them sight unseen. They unloaded. They were not the same quality.
What was off on them? Were you looking at CR grades, pictures?
A lot of pictures that were shot around damage.
Oh, so we didn't take pictures of damage. We skipped that to make it look better.
Kind of missed
You
it.
had the beauty
they're
shots.
a little bit further along on that bedside panel. Excuse me. They're a little bit further along on that bedside panel, so you didn't really see the nastiness down there by the bumper where it was kind of pushed into the bedside.
Well, I agree with you 100%, and that's the reason I asked the question. What do you buy outside of Texas? And what I've seen as transport guys, I see these car dealers. Oh, it was really cheap. It's only 6 states away. Well, did you factor in transportation by chance? The one car you bought? Oh no, I didn't. I forgot about that. How much is it, by the way? Well, it's $1,500. Oh no.
Can't do that.
I got a guy who'll do it for $500, Chris. So go away. I got transport. Okay. Call me when it shows up. I'm real curious.
And to that point, Ty, I was buying cars out of town, and the transport people that I was put in touch with, they're like, yeah, I buy it on, say on Tuesday. He'd be like, look, I'll have it to you on Friday. It'll be there Thursday or Friday. Thursday comes around. He goes, man, I got a truck down. He goes, it's not going to be there on Friday. Friday rolls around and goes, hey, are you open on Sunday? I mean, can I just leave it on Sunday? And it shows up Monday morning. I need some consistency in my life because that's something else I just have to manage. When you said you're the UPS, I'd be like, okay, Ty, how much does it cost to have the UPS? Because I got to factor into my buy. I'll buy in Kansas City if I know Ty is going to charge me this much and it's going to be there within 3 days. Okay. I'm in. But transport's the reason why I don't buy out of town right now.
So I grew a dealer base within this, say 300-mile circle of where Joplin is, of about 400 car dealers, 400 plus. They call Ty every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to go get their cars wherever they bought them. I found now things are changing. I'm actually learning some new stuff about technology, but I still think you cannot get rid of the relationship, regardless of how much cool tech you got. You still need to be able to talk to somebody and make sure it's going to get handled.
People buy from people.
There you go.
Absolutely. So, remember that car you bought that you said was $1,500 to ship? Yeah, they're not looking for a new shipper. Rich, that car's got a bad transmission. It hasn't even left my lot. No, it's a bad transmission. I had Joe, my mechanic that I know there in town, come over and he test drove it on your lot. It's got a bad transmission. So we need to arbitrate it now. So I go out, look at it. Hey, I don't know where Joe is. You want to send Joe in? Because I just test drove this car and there's nothing wrong with the transmission. Oh, no. It wasn't the transmission. I think the third cylinder's got a knock in it. It's a bad third cylinder. So I think we're going to arbitrate the engine. So what do you really want out of the car?
I don't want the car anymore. I'm having buyer's remorse. I paid too much.
I got to be straight. I don't arbitrate because I don't really understand the rules very well. I check it out. And if I got a bad transmission, it's not on the green light. If I got a bad transmission, It's my fault. I missed it.
Amen.
That may make me
weird.
We need
more of you.
That may make me weird, but I don't understand the ARB rules. And at one point I was at one auction and it was on the screen and it said green light, no ARB. I was like,
sounds like you were out in Odessa again.
No, it was another one. But it said green light, no ARB. And I was like, what is that? And so there was one time when I bought one and it had like 150 something thousand miles on it and it was on the green light. So I bought it. I said, hey, do I get, what kind of guarantee do I get? They go, it's over with. You should have drove it that day. That's all you get for 150,000.
I'm not the best at all the ARB rules. I live them every single day, but damn it, they get frustrating. I think a lot of what's gone on at auto auctions is, let's go back to the beginning of time. We introduced the green light. Why? To get more money. And then we started certification. Why? To get more money. So all we're trying to do is just ramp up these prices. So if Ty and I have talked about this concept, red light auto auction, every car comes in as is. We're going to bring it in. We're going to take all the pictures. We're going to do a condition report. We're not going to give you any grades. We're not going to do any announcements. We're going to tell you everything we know about that car. But you buy it, you bid on it, your hand goes up, you win it, you own it. Mm-hmm. End of story.
Yep, it's my life.
Bam. Ty, we are onto something.
Chris. We
want Chris. We want Chris.
It's just what it is. I mean, it's we got to be efficient in this scenario. I need to do the work. I mean, we have a very stringent process. My partner and I do the work. I look at the cars. We book them out. We check the auto check, and then we make a phone call. We determine what that car's worth to buy it for. And when we bought it, we bought it. It's red light. I've done the work. I'll get it. It's simple. It's easy. And I just keep going about it. You might go, rather than me standing in your office going, how can I figure out how to get out from underneath this car? I just, go on to the next one. Let's go. How much to get this thing fixed? Let's go.
On to the next one. I love it.
I love
it. We need to spread that optimism.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Suddenly I feel like the dumbest person in the room. So
No, you're not.
Wait, I can harm?
No, we like it. Well, from an auction side, I mean, that's what makes the world go round, right? We're here to sell cars. We go and source. We try to find as many cars as we can. We give an opportunity to you as a buyer to buy as many cars as you can afford. But there's some things that go into that we need help on. We'll go back to my CAT: consistency, accuracy, transparency. We need consistent sellers. We need them to be accurate with the information they're giving us, and we need to be transparent. On that accuracy side, that's the same thing. If it's got a bad engine, tell us. If it's a bad tranny, tell us. Quit trying to hide stuff, because all that does is create more headaches.
They just want to make more money.
I know. It's greed. Greed gets in the way. And if I talk to these people, and I'm like, if you just do the right thing and you're honest and you build up a following, you're going to make more money than when you come in and you're trying to hide behind a sticker from some other seller.
Hey, Chris, have you ever got burned in an auction?
Tell me what burned in an auction looks like.
You bought a car, you tried to make, give me a little bit of help. Auction says, go away. We're not here to help you.
Ty, I never knew you could, so I haven't asked. I'm sorry, I kept going. I've never asked. Rich will tell you I've never asked. I thought, yeah, I bought it. It's mine. It's no returns.
Well, that's interesting. The reason I'm asking the question is because I love car dealers, and I got a lot of car dealer buddies, and it's really interesting. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be in Springfield tomorrow. Are you going? Oh, no. Oh, boo, I'm never going back there. Oh, really? Why? I arbitrated a car and they stuck it in my rear end. I'll never go back there.
I take that back, Kai. Way back when I was early on, I bought a car in a green light out of a small East Texas town. And when I went up there to get it, the check engine light was on and the AC didn't work. And I said, I don't want the car. I'm out. And so we're driving back, which was a long way. And the general manager says, you have to give the seller the opportunity to fix this car. You have to. And I went, I don't want the car. He goes, oh no. The rules are the seller gets an opportunity to fix the car. And I said, well, then I want to go to the Kia dealership to get it fixed. I want the Kia dealership to tell me everything and such. And they did not do that. And they basically said they did stick me with it. And I will never go to that company's auctions again. Not just that one, all of them.
Bam. This is my point. I had too many dealers say, I'm never going back to that auction. And so what are you doing to your customers? That's how you make money, right? The dealer guy?
Yeah.
You make enough of those guys, man. And they go to the other auction 100 miles down the road, and guess who they're talking to, and guess what they're telling them?
They're talking to other buyers and other dealers, yeah.
They're telling them how bad they got jerked around by that auction, by that general manager that wouldn't come out of their office and talk to them, help them.
I do know that I've been in situations where I got a car and I paid for an inspection. And then when we picked up the car, we like to drive our cars back to the lot. That's part of the QC process. If it makes it back to the lot, it's a pretty good car. And so this, and they did the PSI, and man, the tranny, they didn't even get halfway down the street. And the tranny's out. They took that car back. They're like, yeah, bring it back. We missed it. Sorry. That particular auction was rolling the dice, thinking we're not really going to do the inspection. We'll just take their money and let them go. Yeah. But they took it back. And the reason why I couldn't remember the one has been so long. But if you don't mind me dovetailing into a little something, I mean, I'm going to do a shameless plug for the Houston Independent Auto Dealers Association.
Do it.
I truly believe that used car dealers, have a bad reputation. And because it's such a fragmented industry, they're not bad people. Now, in every industry, there's going to be some bad people. But the used car dealers I know are mom and pop, second, third generation, good people. But because the industry is so fragmented, we do not support one another. So at the end of the day, we're at the bottom of the hill getting the blame game. Well, those used car dealers, they lie. Those used cars, they lie, and such. And if the used car dealers, I'm hoping that the used car dealers will recognize that and say, look, we need to improve our reputation. Case in point, I was dealing with law enforcement on the paper tags issue, and the law enforcement is a friend of mine. He's a good guy. We talked and such. And I supported getting rid of the paper tags. And he goes, well, these dealers. And I said, man, you got to stop calling them dealers. These people selling paper tags are not dealers. They have a license, but they're not buying a car. I said, and there's some really good people out there who are taking care of their community and putting good cars and trying to do good notes. And you're ruining their reputation by associating with these criminals, because we as an industry can't step up and go, no, that's not dealers. That's criminals.
I've never looked at it like that, but that's a great way of putting it, because what's going through my head is like, if a cop or a detective, whatever, finds a drug dealer, he tags him a drug dealer. Well, they're all bad, right? Inherently, all drug dealers are bad. So what he's just done is now he's done the same thing to car dealers. He's just said somebody wrote one bad, or he had one bad paper tag. Now he's tagged every dealer as being bad. So there's a bias there, which is a terrible thing.
Well, he recognized it when I brought it to his attention. He stopped.
That's awesome.
He was like, like, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Well, one of the things so I got rid of all my trucks, Chris, and I've been kind of coaching car haulers across the United States, blah, blah, who cares? But one of the things in my presentation, or, that I tell car hauler guys, first of all, can you live 12 months without a check starting right now? I don't need to know the answer, but you do. And if you can't do that, I highly recommend you don't get into car hauling right now. Number two is do you know how to talk to people? Sales, right? And what I do is I say, get in your car, drive around town, and look at, when you're at the traffic light, look in front of you, and on the back of that car, I bet there's a sticker that will tell you where that car came from. And go, as you're driving around town, start looking at that stuff, keep track of, there's Chris. Chris has your car store. You see that sticker all over town, whip into the store. Hey, I see your stickers all over town. You must sell a lot of cars. My name's Ty. I'm the transport guy. Now, the next step of this, where I say local dealers are heavily invested in local community. What do you mean? Go to the baseball park.
No.
Go to the school.
I'm on the baseball park.
Go to the football field. Go to the high school. Watch. That is, to me, dealers. And I love the dealer. I really do. I mean, we've got bad dealers just like you do. But as a whole, the guys that I deal with are the most giving, most generous, most kind people I've ever met, and would be happy to help anybody one way or another if they can. So I agree with you 100%. And thanks for sharing that. Because I think that's real. Yeah.
So I got to tell you, your description of the transport scenario, but to me, buying trucks in Texas, the best place to buy trucks in Texas is Austin, Texas. And I've talked to the auction there. I said, the reason why is there's a lot of really nice looking trucks that's never seen a pasture. Okay. Most of them are in a parking garage and such, a lot of them. Now, I'm not saying all of them. There are some ranchers and there's some ranch trucks go through there. But the bulk of them in Texas, if I want to get some really nice trucks for a pretty decent deal, but I stopped going to Austin, Ty, because I didn't know when I was going to get it. So the value thing you'd say to me when you said, I'll tell you I'll guarantee when it's going to be here. You could guarantee me 7 days away. That's fine. I now can build my process. Hey, we got to get all this other stuff done because Ty's going to be here with all these trucks in 7 days. Yeah. That's the value that I would love.
And that goes back to what I keep preaching all the time about CAT: consistency, accuracy, transparency. If Ty is consistent and says, hey, I'm going to bring my cars every 7 days. Chris, you're going to have your truck in 7 days. He's consistent. And now he's accurate with his information and he does it and he's transparent. Hey, I can't make 6 days. I can't make 4 days. I'm not going to make 8 days. It's going to be 7 days. Now you've got a trust built up between the two of you. And it's like gold. And I don't understand why this concept is so hard for so many people to wrap their head around. Just be honest.
Well, and that's it. Every dealer, Ty, just tell me the truth. Just that's all I got to know. And it used to bother me. I just think like, why? What? I don't understand. Ty, I just got to know. So I started testing it. The first car, and by the way, I damage cars. I'm good at damaging cars, Chris. So the first car damage
every car hauler damages cars. It's just like every car dealer writes bad paper tags. Every transporter wrecks cars. It's a given.
Well, it's so this is what the car dealer taught me. This is beautiful. And Chris is right. He's validating everything that I've ever learned in calling cars for car dealers and auctions. Ty, if something happens, just call me and let me know so I can take care of it. Okay. Hey, I just took the whole top deck and smashed it down onto the car. Yours was on the bottom. Remember that Ford Taurus you bought, or that Toyota Camry with the nice one? Well, I put it on. I don't know what happened, but somehow I hit the lever and the whole it's got this crease on both sides of the roof right here. And I just wanted to let you know I'll be there in a couple hours, maybe 2. Oh, Ty, mother.
No way, man.
Hey, wait. You told me to call you. Yeah, okay. Thank you for calling. All right, bye. I'll see you in a little bit. And it worked. I mean, I was shocked every time. I'm like, all right, let's try it with this guy. This guy's mean, right? The mean guy. Ty, where are my fucking cars, mother? We're coming. We told me they'd be here 10 minutes ago. I know I'm 8 minutes away. The traffic, the light's red. I can see your, whoa, I want my cars. Okay. Even that guy, call him and give him bad news. Eventually, once he calms down, he says, thank you. That's the truth. Absolute truth. So when Chris says, just tell me what's really going on, they can deal with it.
But
I
at the
love
same
it.
time, if you tell me something and it doesn't happen, I don't see you as a liar. I see you as a person going, look, I gave you this scenario, and this scenario based on this, and this. But there was a ginormous hailstorm, and I did not want to travel in the hailstorm. So we had to wait for the hailstorm to pass. And then there was a truck that was on fire on the freeway, and that slowed us down. And be like, yeah, things happen. It's okay. What's your ETA now? I think we're going to be there at this time. And I know, Ty, you're going to call me and go, hey, man, I thought I was going to be there this time, but I hit this and this.
Exactly. And as
Communication.
long as I stayed ahead of you, and I figured you guys out, I could almost predict when you're getting ready to call. I could feel it. And I would call you first. I would say, hey, we're running about 2 hours behind. He's like, hey, I was just getting ready to call you. Thanks for the heads up. I appreciate that. See you soon. Thanks. Bye.
There's
Well,
bias.
yeah, then I would do like, hey, I'm a couple hours late. I'm sorry, but I got you a 12-pack. Building those relationships with car dealers is somewhat intimidating. So I teach car hauler guys, go start with a Chris. Go in there, and here's what I tell them. When you pull into the lot, look at the lot. How many cars are there? If you see 40, 50 cars there, that means they're probably selling 25, 20 to 25. Generally speaking, car dealers, whatever you count on the lot, I became a car counter too. Now, after you've counted the cars, what kind of cars do you see? If you see all trucks lifted with Jeeps lifted and conversion vans, you may not want to go talk to that guy because he thinks everything on his lot is a car when it comes to transportation and expects to pay car transport prices versus mega lifted prices, dualies, right? So you just start talking and explaining to these guys, this is a car dealer. What's in the back there? Go look. Those are probably trade-ins. Where are they going? What are you doing with them? They could be repos if you go to the host. So just all these different pieces to get people to understand a guy like Chris is really important.
So let's get back onto the
Mhm.
HIADA.
Mhm.
We want to hear more about what you do and how we can help you with HIADA.
Such an opportunity. We've got a lot of exciting things going on, but most of all, I'd like to see more dealers come to the meetings that they're interested in to get information. We just had the OCCC come and do a great presentation for us last Tuesday. There's a lot of great information there because the way our system works is you can be a dealer for 4 years before you actually get an examination by the OCCC. Now, there are resources out there to do it right, but they're very difficult to find. They're very buried and such. And if you're new, you're even more confused. Whereas you come to this meeting and you hear them go, these are the mistakes we're seeing dealers make that creates fines. So you need to not do this, you need to not do this, you need to not do this. And in some of the most difficult things, because I became friends with not really friends, but I trusted the examiner and got to know him very, very well. We talked. He agrees. He goes, I don't want to come into a dealership and shut it down because they've been doing something wrong for 4 years. Because they go, okay, you've been charging the customers this on the retail installment contract for 4 years. You have to refund every one of them. That's the end of times for that dealer at that point.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't like it either. We would like to have, I believe that my business will be stronger as the industry association grows. We're associated with TIADA, which is Texas Independent Auto Dealers Association, and NIADA, which is the national. But I'm a local guy. I think it's got to start with the grassroots. I think it's that, like people buy from people. The other shameless pluggers I like is belly to belly selling, man. You're right there in front of people, and it's all local. Providing input on how we can better serve people. We have formed a compliance advisory board, and the DMV and the OCCC and the tax assessor's office has agreed to put somebody in there that we meet twice a year and just go, what can we get? How can we help you help our dealers? What can we do? What are you seeing out there? And then having the information to disseminate among all the dealers. It improves the reputation of the dealers. We talk about the right things to do. We talk about mistakes that have been made, and the industry gets better. And honestly, Todd, my previous industry I was in was body shops. And I watched us do this in the body shop business. As it stopped being such a fragmented industry, we created a CIC that actually created rules of engagement for negotiating with insurance companies. And all of a sudden, insurance companies were understanding what the body shops needed, and the body shops were understanding where the insurance companies were coming from. And the winner at the end of the day was the customer, because he had a much more seamless experience rather than the body shop fighting with the insurance person. I believe that if we can make the HIDA and improve the industry with rules of engagement, best practices, then it only helps our consumer.
I appreciate that about the independent car dealer, especially. Appreciate the NIADA. Is it Jeff Martin?
Jeff Martin?
Yes, Jeff
sir.
Martin. He left the TIADA and is now running the NIADA.
Yeah. Shout out to Jeff and what he's doing over there. But
The meat of this podcast is about helping managers at auto auctions. And in turn, we want to become better so we can help our customers. What's one thing that we can do to help you, the independent dealer?
I don't understand not letting you bring a scanner in. I really don't get that. One is I would like to see more visible title absent. Right now I just assume the title's not here. I don't even look because they're all absent.
Okay.
And such. Or you go title here. The only place where you have the titles is with repossessions of the auctions I go to. Most of the dealers do not have titles there. There's a handful of dealers out there that are now saying, I'm not going to send a car to the auction unless I send the title. I think that's spectacular. Try to incentivize the titles being there. I know that in some cases, a person sells a car, a small independent dealer sells a car at the auction, drops the title off at the day of the sale, but they go, we don't really want to give you a check until the 7 days has passed for ARB.
No, we cut it. We ring a title, we give you a check. So here's one thing I did at a prior auction. But if you brought a title in to the auction and we asked for it 24 hours before the sale for one reason, we would give you a discounted sale fee as soon as you sold that. But we wanted the title the day before so we could run a Twix report on it to make sure another title wasn't issued. Because sometimes, for example, if an auction's listening, they're going, why? Well, if you're an independent dealer and you're back in your own notes, and then you file a claim against a repo because you didn't get it back, and now that claim is a total loss repo, that now changes that title.
Yes.
So you got to be careful on how you do that, because we want a clean title. And the last thing I want to do is pick up the phone and call you as a dealer and say, hey, I gave you the discounted fee. You just gave me the title. Yeah, but we got it back from the state 7 days later, 2 weeks later, and the title's no good because it's a salvage title now because you filed a claim on it. And the guy doesn't want the car. Now you've got to get all that back. And all that liability does go back on the seller. That's not an auction deal.
I love that. I think that'll be fantastic if you offered a discount, or if you said there's a fee for a no title fee. But honestly, are you competitive then with your other auctions who will then scoop up the dealers?
No, it's going to happen. You're validating what I've done in the past that I haven't instituted now. We'll help you out as a seller. We'll help you out as a buyer. Promise.
I think that's a huge thing right there. But access to titles, again, going back to what Ty said, knowing when the car's going to be there, I'd really like to know when the title's going to be there. Because I go and my people are looking at what I bought, and they're looking at the picture and go, I got a customer for that. I need to call I got somebody who wants that. I got to call somebody and such. And you're like, okay. And then they're like, when's the car going to get here? When's the title going to get here? When is it going to be? And it's like, I don't know. And the auctions are like, well, I can't really call the dealership until, 20 days at least. And it's like, hey, I'd like to know, when the title's going to be here.
Awesome.
I've been preaching this all along, haven't I, Ty? Show me the title.
Yeah, show me the title.
From what I understand, in the state of Virginia, and I may be incorrect, but I was told this, that in the state of Virginia, you buy a car at an auction, you leave with the title.
I've heard Pennsylvania, you can't sell the title. You can't sell a car at the auction without a title being present.
That's what I understand about Virginia is that they actually have a DMV office in each, a DMV representative in each auction. I really would like to see that in Texas. Talking to auction friends that I know of, they go, we would love that. I don't know that all the auto dealers would be happy about it, but they would love that.
Well, I think there is a version of that coming in July of 2025, and that's the web DMV process and the digital titles where everything's going to be digital. I think that's going to help us speed up in getting the titles faster.
It's the payoffs that's the issue, from what I understand.
But the payoffs should go faster as well because you'll be able to wire the money and then be able to transfer the title. We had a title expert on a couple weeks ago, prior podcast. We talked about that very issue right there. Part of the rodeo sale for next year, Chris, we're going to add more roundtables. We're going to do a roundtable. I'm looking for some help, but we're going to bring in experts primarily to cover the digital titles in Texas and do a meeting just on that, a roundtable to help dealers. So we're going to do a training session. Maybe I can leverage HIDA to help me. And here's the other thing too. I would love to get you up on the block because I know you're great with the microphone. I've seen you do it. Yes, you are. You're a great storyteller. Once a month, once a quarter, however we determine. Jump up on the block before the sale starts. We can have a translator there. Let's educate these dealers that are in the lanes about what the Independent Dealers Association is about and how it helps them.
I'm in.
Let's get more people on board.
I'm in.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Meet Me at the Gate. I hope the conversations help to fuel your drive and equip you with insights to steer your team towards success. Remember, the road to success is always under construction. And until next time, keep your engines revving and your gas tanks full.